Hey guys, good morning to one and all of you, and thanks for joining us. We'll start the session in a couple of minutes. Grab your morning drink if you haven't, till we wait for everyone to join in. So in at 10:02 exactly, we'll start the session. All right, guys. So we'll start the session. Hope you can hear my voice and you can see my screen. If all good, and without further ado, let's start. Let's start. Let's try to make this weekend productive. So Saturday morning again. Thanks for joining us all. So without uh, All right, great. So I'll just cover today's agenda briefly, and then we'll get into the individual utilities on our platform, that is Quantsapp. So quickly, if you go to our website on the home page, if you just scroll below to the application section, you will find our utilities segregated based on their use cases. So here on the left hand side, you can find all our tools and based on what their use cases are. So we have 15 tools for intraday traders. We have 19 tools for positional traders, and we have a proprietary and sort of premium algorithm called optimizer, and five essential tools that all derivative traders have in their bucket all the time. So the agenda for today is so within intraday we'll be covering FNO scanner. So if you click on it on the website, you'll get a brief summary as to what FNO scanner is. And if you click here, you can see the demo video. But we'll cover that in today's section. Also today we'll be covering a theme that is going to be running the markets for the next month or so. So result season is coming in, and we have a couple of tools for this result season. So one of them is result calendar, pretty straightforward, wherein you can see which results are forthcoming, so that if you have positions, you can stay prepared, or if you are someone who trades into results, you can actually backtest using one of our another tool called result analysis. Uh, So here again, this is another tool if you're solely into trading results. Again, you can click the video here to view it on our website again. Now, in addition to that, we'll also be covering gainer and loser, and I'll try my best to sort of mix these tools in such that we come up with a setup combining all of these tools, so that it's actually practical for you guys. Uh, And the last tool that we'll be covering today is price OI percentile. So that's another tool that will sort of help us in determining a trend of a certain move. All right, so moving to our application. So this is how our application is. So if you go to the home page, you can just click on web app, and it'll ask you to sign in, and you can just log in. Right. So this is our homepage as of now. So if you want to look at the bucket of tools that we have available, you can click on the top left, and here is all the tools in our platform as of now. So let's begin our session. So we'll start with the result theme that is going to be coming up this month, and TCS has already started. It's announced its results recently. So starting off with the basic tool, we'll go into result calendar right away. So you can search for the tool here if you don't want to scroll and find it here. So here's the calendar of the results coming up in Jan of this year. Uh, on the right, it's there on a tabular view. So we can see that on 13th, in 4 days' time, we have a couple of IT companies again announcing its results. Uh, and throughout the month, in fact, especially on 20th, we have 4 companies. On 29th, we have 6 companies announcing their results. So really quickly, you can check the calendar here, and you can check for the months ahead as well. So this is a result calendar, pretty straightforward, and but again, as essential as it can be, because you need to know if anything in your portfolio has an upcoming result, and especially if you're trading options or looking into volatility, you want to know what exactly or which results are coming in. And just a heads up, on Saturday we have HDFC Bank also publishing its results. Again, these are the quarterly results of the last quarter. Uh, Now, say suppose you want to trade results, or you want to see how particular underlyings have acted pre and post results. What I mean by pre and post results is, say I have a result today and it's announced, but I want to know how this particular stock whose result is going to be is announced today has performed in the last days leading up to the result and the days after the result once the result is announced. So we have a tool called result analysis, and so let's dive right into that. uh, so let's take Infi as an example. So Infi is announcing its quarterly results on 13th. So if you want to see what its performance has been before and after the results, you just click on the chart view here, and you'll be taken to this page. So you can also come to result analysis by again typing it here. So this is Infi's result performance before and after since Jan 2018. So right now we are in 2021. So that's been, so in the last 3 years. This is the last 3 years data. You can go further back to that as well. But let's analyze how Infi has done before and after its results in the past 3 years at least. So just decoding this for you guys. So we are looking at Infosys. Our data that we are looking into is how has Infosys performed 2 days before the earnings and 2 days after the earnings, uh, and results have been announced. Again, as I'll repeat, we are looking at 3 years data, so that is 12 quarters. So you'll have 12 exact results here. Uh, so now getting to the chart here, the bar chart here. So the yellow signifies the returns for Infi before the result was announced. So on top you can see, so 12 Jan 2018 there was a result wherein before the 2 days before the result, Infi was up to 2.3%, and 2 days after the result it was up again 3.85%. Similarly, the next result in April, we had before the result, Infi was quite high. It went up around 3.7%. However, after the results, it went down 4%. So, to sort of get into the fundamentals of this, you may want to sort of go back and see what were the result expectations at the time and what result actually came out. Uh, and that would help you to analyze as to why Infi went down after the result. So if you're again a solely result trader, you want to do that analysis. So if I want to take a broad sort of feedback from this Infosys sort of bar chart that we have, we can conclude that couple of days before the result, more or less, Infi has been trending higher. So you can sort of uh, interpret that as you may, but that's been the trend at least in the past 3 years. So before the result, there has been a up move in Infosys, and that's clear. That shows here in the data. So, so guys, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box, and we'll take it uh, as and when each and every tool gets done. And Abhishek, you can send them across to me on the chat. All right, so we'll take up another example for result analysis really quickly. So let's see what other results are coming up. All right, let's see HDFC Bank. So again, big stock in the bank nifty sector, almost driving it many a times. So again, its result is coming up on Saturday, 16 Jan. So let's see how HDFC Bank performs before and after its result. So again, clicking on chart view. All right, so this is again HDFC's bank's performance before and after its results for the past 3 years. So again, the orange bar gives you the returns before the result, and the gray bar gives you the result, gives you the returns after the result. So if I want to again get a conclusion from here or an inference, I'll look at the recent data. So again, this is quarter-wise data. So in the last 3 quarters, before the result, Infi has rallied quite a bit. Uh, sorry, HDFC Bank has rallied quite a bit. That can be seen here. So before the result, on in July 20, it went up around 3.3%, and after it was around up 4%. Uh, Likewise with the last results in October. So this is the quick analysis of how you can trade results. And again, this tool again was covered today since the season is already in flow. So just checking if we have any questions. So someone put in the chat the third result was a dojo. So wouldn't sort of look at these as candlestick charts or candlestick ticks. So this is just the returns before and after the result. And again, so say suppose if you see on if you want to sort of look or dive deeper or do some more fundamental analysis, you can see where the particular underlying, in this case, HDFC has sort of moved a lot after its result. So 20th July 2019, it fell around 4.5% after the result, 2 days since the result was announced. So if you are more into fundamentals, you can actually go and see what sort of numbers were announced and what some analysts were forecasting and what was the actual number. And then going ahead, you can sort of use that data such that if you see how much the analyst forecast is different from the actual number, this much is the returns after the result. You can make certain inferences from that. So there's a question, does this app indicator have scanners as well? Can we combine FNO data with derivative data? So the second part of the question, this entire platform that we have is for FNO data. And yes, we do have a couple of scanners that I'll get into shortly. So we'll get into FNO scanner shortly. Just one moment. So we have a request to do a result analysis of ITC. So I'll just do that really quickly. So you can search, if you don't want to go and see what results, you can search on the top right for your underlying, and it will tell you when the particular result is. Uh, So can't seem to be getting ITC. Is there any other sort of stock that you guys want to look at? All right, so I'll take another relevant one. Let's look at Bajaj Finance. All right, so again, clicking on chart view really quickly, we'll go to result analysis. So this is how Bajaj Finance has performed before and after the results. Not much inference from here. So in the last 3 quarters, it did fall around 5% on one occasion, and then it's been flat in the last particular results, uh, and a slightly higher move in the last result, in the last announcement after the result. So Mr. Virender Kumar has asked, can you use IV charts before and after the results? Sure. So we have a tool for IV as well. Again, if you are into trading results, you want to look at IV, and we have an entire suite of IV tools just for IV and volatility analysis, where you can look at the IV percentile and the IV. Yeah, the IV percentage and the IV percentile. Uh, so if you want to look at it for ITC, so this is the IV and the historical volatility chart. So very few people provide historical data for IV. We are one of them. So again, you can make your inferences here based on when exactly the results were announced and what exactly the IB changes were in the IB tool. So I'll ask our team to send a video on the IB suite uh, so that you can actually check the IB tool as well. So just one sec. Okay. So moving ahead to our next tool. So we'll get into FNO scanner that was requested just a while ago. So a scanner for looking at the most active contracts for that particular day. So you can search for it in the search bar, or you can navigate by scrolling here. So clicking on FNO scanner, uh, yeah. So here's FNO scanner. So on the top we have our filters on based of what we are going to scan for. So just to give you context on what this tool is going to do. So in all the derivative contracts traded, be it futures or options, uh, so I would say around 200, 250 FNO stocks. Each and every stock has around 40 to 50 strikes. Now, what this tool does is it scans for all these strike prices, and it looks for the strike prices based on your inputs. When I say inputs, I mean if you want to search for contracts wherein the price or the premium of the contract has gone up by a certain percent, you can input that here. Or if you want to look where people have been building positions or unwinding positions, again based on changes in OI, you can put that in the second filter here. Or if you want to look for changes in IV in certain contracts, you can put that filter here. So this is a really easy way and a very efficient way to search for trading ideas on an intraday basis at least. Uh, so just giving an example on this, if I want to trade in options now and I want to trade in sort of the active underlyings today, so I'll just come to FNO scanner. I'll put in certain criteria here such that I get those active contracts. So for example, I want to see which contracts have doubled today in its premium. Uh, so again, as I said, it's futures and options both. It considers all expiries. If you want to just trade in the front month, you can select the front month. Uh, so now we are looking for premiums of contracts that have doubled. So that would be 100% price increase. So that's our filter for now. We won't put an OI or an IB filter, and we'll apply. All right. So these are the contracts which have doubled. This is data for yesterday, Friday, the 8th of Jan. So we can see right at the top we have Maruti's 800 call strike. Its premium has gone up by 150% yesterday. Uh, so now even if I don't know what move has happened in Maruti yesterday, I know that there is something going on in its options in such that it's actually doubled. And I believe 8,000 strike was way out of the money till yesterday. Uh, so if you want to see Maruti's performance yesterday, so basically we didn't know that what happened in Maruti, but we just scanned and we saw that the 8,000 premium has gone up. So we can just quickly see what exactly happened in Maruti. So we have charts also now on our tool. So we have option charts and the future charts and even strategy charts now, wherein you can also apply indicators on them. Uh, so Maruti's yesterday rally, let's see what made the 8,000 contract sort of move. So quickly. All right, so Maruti was up around 5.8% yesterday, and the tool has told me that the 8,000 contract of the call option was basically up 150%. So really quickly, I got sort of intraday trading ideas. Now, if I want to do further analysis of that, now say suppose I look at it at 10 a.m. on a trading day, and again a script like Maruti pops up where it tells me that fine, this option has doubled. Then what I'll also do is not only look at the chart, but I will also look at the open interest for Maruti. So quickly going into the open interest and see what exactly is changing in the data that's made the premium sort of go up by 1.5 times. We go to open interest. All right, here you go. So this is the 8,000 call strike. So again, the interest data is pretty clear where there was again pretty significant unwinding in the calls of the 8,000 strike. Uh, and I would say a significant increase. Almost so the put support earlier was around 3,000, the OI at the 8,000 put, and that has increased to 41,000 yesterday. And the calls have basically unwinded heavily as well. So if you're seeing this at, say, suppose at 10 a.m., you can quickly go to FNO scanner, put in your criteria, and find trading ideas, but wouldn't recommend to take up trades directly looking at FNO scanner. As we did here, you might want to go and check the OIs of the strike in sort of question here, and uh, and then again you can at least have an intuition of the strength of certain moves. So going back to FNO scanner, so let's put in our criteria again of option premiums doubling. So these are the contracts where the option premiums have doubled. So again, Maruti 7900 call premium has also doubled, and there are a couple of Wipro calls that have doubled as well. So there's a question: what is SC here? So this is short covering, wherein the price goes up and the OI goes down. Okay, let me see if we have some questions. So there's a question by Retrix. How do you put a negative change in OI and a negative price change as well? So let's try that. So that is long unwinding. So if you want to look for options wherein the price has gone down and so has the OI, so you can put down the filter here. So I want, say, suppose I want premiums wherein the premiums have gone down by 30% and the OI has also gone down by, say, 10%. And again, this is data for Friday. So this is exactly where all the long unwindings have happened. Uh, uh, so we see Dr. Reddy's 5100 put. The price was down by almost a third, and the OI was down by almost a fourth. Uh, and similarly, you can do the same for long build-ups, short coverings, uh, as we did for long unwinding here. All right, so there's a question by Mr. Bharat Bhushan asking how do we use this app to trade in Nifty and Bank Nifty intraday? So again, we have a host of tools in intraday. So if you're trading these weekly options, we have some expiry trading tools as well. Option pain, option gain. Again, change in open interest. The way we present it is in such a way that you can actually see uh, how the sort of positions are changing between the participants in the market. Uh, and as I said, we also have FNO news in positional. All right. So if there are any questions, you can put it on the chat. Uh, okay, moving on. Quickly take up gainer loser, or let's do price percentile first, and I'll try to again come up with something actionable that you can use. Yeah. All right, so this is our price percentile tool. So first, before getting into this tool, let's first understand what exactly percentile means. And then I'll get into this tool. So it's just a statistical term, not to get worried. So if a simple Google search. So percentile is a statistical term used to express how a score compares to other scores in the same set. So for example, say suppose you're giving an exam, or say suppose 100 people are giving an exam. Uh, or let's say 50 people are giving an exam, and the max you can get in the exam is 100, and the lowest you can get is 0, of course. Now 50 people giving the exam, say suppose the highest scorer is out of 100, he's got 95, and the lowest scorer out of 100 has got 30. So here in this case, the percentile for this set, so if I say the 100th percentile, that would be the person who got 95 marks out of 100, because he's topped in that particular set. So you have to compare it to the other scores uh, in the same group. So that's the concept of percentile. So this was important before we cover the tool. Uh, so now getting into the tool, so it's prudent to look at uh, sort of themes in the market which were driving markets higher. So you might want to look at quarterly data or 6 months old data. So let's look at quarterly data first. So let's look at 60 trading days. That would almost be a quarter. So let's just see what do we have here. So this is the price percentile on the left and the open interest percentile on the right. Again, sorted alphabetically. So if you want to sort it based on looking at sort of long ideas, you can sort it based on price. All right. So if we look at Amara Raj batteries here, uh, what we see is the price percentile is 98.33, and the OI percentile is 95. So what, and this is data again for the last quarter. So what I can denote from this is given in the last 60 trading days, as of now, Amara Raj battery is trading at its almost at its highs in the last 60 days. And this has been with strong participation in the sense 95 percentile of OI has participated in this move. Uh, so, for example, if OI was just for example, it was 1 lakh, the minimum OI uh, in the last quarter was 1 lakh in all the Amara Raj contracts, and the maximum OI was 10 lakhs. So, as of now, the OI is closer to 10 lakhs. Than it is to 1 lakh and much closer to 10 lakhs. So you can know that people are participating in this positive move in this underlying with volume. Uh, and just to, on a side note, this includes uh, all the sort of expiry OIs. So it's cumulative open interest of the front month and the next 2 months as well. So you can sort it based on price percentiles or on OI percentiles as well. So for short, basically, you need to look for underlyings wherein the price has gone lower and the OIs have gone higher. Uh, and there you can come up with sort of short themes. Yeah. So here I can see all these underlyings now, especially Reliance. We are seeing a sort of breakdown in Reliance, wherein the price is trading at its 13th percentile in the last quarter, with again some significant participation of around 90% percentile, I should say. So you can also look for yearly data here. So this is for the past sort of 250 trading days. Uh, and again, it's prudent to look at. a longer term to see what, but if there are any changes in regime or you see an underlying sort of go up over the past month or so, and you want to see if OIs have also contributed to its movement. So there's a question by Mr. Rajiv. What will be the effect of a stock price of long unwinding? So long unwinding basically means that long positions are getting unwinded. So the price goes lower and so does the OI. So you'll see prices move lower. All right, so just moving this back to a quarter data and see what how further we can analyze this. So I'll show you an example. So let's take Amara Raja battery itself. So in the past 60 trading days, again, it's as we see, it's trading at its highs, and so is the volume spin. So let's go into charts and see what exactly is happening there. All right, so this is the 5 minute chart. I'll just make it into a daily chart. So we are analyzing data for the last 60 days for this underlying. So last 60 days would be around just second week of October. So clearly we can see that the underlying has definitely gone up. Even we saw that in price percentile. So let me just draw a scale out here. Yeah. So first and a half week of October to now. All right. So 63. So 60 days uh, worth of data. Uh, that's again 60 trading days, and we can see that it's gone up by 36.5% in the past 60 trading days. Now, a unique tool here with Quantsapp is we also plot the cumulative open interest, as we did show you in price OI percentile, where this blue line here is giving you the OI. Again, this is combined OI of all the expiries. Um, so here we can also see now in the past 60 days, the OI has been trading at its high point. So my conclusion from this would be the move in Amararaj Ja battery had significant participation on the upside. And so basically, we don't have to come to charts to get these ideas. We got this idea from the price OI percentile tool. And then we've come to the chart rather than going through all the symbols and seeing where this particular price OI move is there. You can just go to price open interest percentile and do that analysis. So there's a question, is this a free tool or a pro tool? So single charts is a free tool. So all of you can use it. We have strategy charts where you can plot option strategies. Again, these are premiums that you are plotting, where you can actually see how the Greeks are impacting strategy premiums. It's a pretty wonderful tool. And if you want a sort of trial or a demo, you can write to us on support and we'll help you with the trial or with the demo of that. So Mr. Retrix has asked, please repeat about Reliance. So can you let me know what exactly about Reliance would you like to know? So Mr. Prakash Chawla said we can see this Amara Raja battery now in hindsight. So if you do further analysis, and you can definitely see trends. Again, you can make your look back period smaller and see where sort of moves are significant. At least you can get a bias on the strength of a trade. So very important in a bull market, uh, wherein if you're going with the trend in a bull market, it's good to know that even volumes and open interest are supporting you. And even if you're following the trend overall, and say suppose you are the unlucky one where the day you take it and the trend changes, you'll hit a stop loss. That's all I can say. But hopefully you would have participated before the trend, so that if you had even taken sort of, say suppose, 3 4 trades in the bull run, and you made your money in the bull run, and you're unlucky you got caught up once the trend sort of changed, you made a loss one time. But overall, net it's a good tool looking at data. So there's a question on Reliance. So there was a question on Reliance. I mentioned a break, a sort of move in Reliance. So it was a sort of downward move in Reliance with, I would say, certain significant volume as well. So again, Nifty heavily reliant on Reliance to move, so that it moves. So again, Reliance is a really good stock to look at if you're trading the index, at least, because it certainly drives the index on many an occasion. Yeah, so looking at the price OI analysis for Reliance in the last quarter. So let's just again draw a scale here. So last 60 trading days would be around here to, yeah. So this is again around 60 trading days. So Reliance has been it's been down almost 15% now. Uh, and again, even the OIs, so the OI did move up eventually once the downward move did come in. So here you can see in this period, in this downward move, there was a significant spike in the OIs. So I'm looking at the bottom of the screen, this magenta blue line. So here's the spike in the OIs and sort of fall in the Reliance. So again, 2000 is again a critical level, at least for this underlying. So let me check if we have any questions. So Mr. Das has asked, do you mean to say the move in Amara Raja battery is exhausted for now? Definitely, I wouldn't. I'm not saying that, because I can still see the trend is intact. But again, that's not a direct advice, but that's what the data is telling me. So as long as I don't see the OI is not participating in the price move above, my sort of bias would still be positive. And it's always prudent to sort of befriend the trend. And so as long as data doesn't change significantly, my bias would still be sort of positive based on, again, looking at the data. So there's a question, short covering not expected in Reliance. So again, the trend that we've been seeing at least in the past quarter is prices move lower with increase in OI. So that's a certain sort of short built up, and the cycle. For short build up is sort of short build up and then a slight short covering and further short build up. Um, so again here, if I can see really roughly, so this is a short build up where future price has gone lower with OIs going higher. Uh, and here sort of pullback where the shorts are covering the positions. And even if you see below, OIs are sort of unwinding there. Uh, so that's a sort of textbook short unwinding cycle. Okay, so there was a question for IV on Reliance, which I conveniently ignored. I'll just take that right now. If I can just find it. Mr. Virender Kumar had asked, can you show Infi IV before and after the result? Yeah, sure. So we have a IV chart utility. Again, historical IV, very few people provide, we being one of them. So Infi, let's search for Infi here. So looking at the past 250 trading period, so the white line that you see here, or the white dot, I should say, uh, is when the result was announced. Uh, so I can see one here in October, 14th or 15th October, wherein leading up to the result for Infi, there was a spike in IB. Uh, that's sort of clear to see in the data. Uh, so again, the orange line is the IVs, and the green line is the underlying. So there is a clear spike leading up to the event, and after the event, you can see a clear crash in IVs as well. This is again for Infi. Going further back, we see another result here. Miss this out. So there's again a spike before the result, leading up to the result, and a sort of small drop in IVs post that. And similarly, not a big spike before the result. But then again, COVID was in the theme here. So this spike looks pretty significant if you take COVID out of the picture. But you can't do that. But it's still a significant increase leading up to its result at around April. And again, a huge crash in IVs. And then we know what how markets rallied post that. Uh, so yeah, this is. I hope that helps you, Mr. Virendra. So someone has asked again. Uh, so someone has asked, give emphasis on practical use of the tool to derive a reasonable expectation for Reliance. So again, as we saw in the data, so if you combine a lot of these tools, the price OI percentile, the changes in open interest, and even if you someday find Reliance in FNO scanner, then I personally would be pretty confident to take some trades there. I would say that I would have enough data points to take a trade. Uh, and at least have a strong bias such that at least the trade that I've taken has some data to back it up. Um, but clearly, I can't give you exact trades on this webinar, but I'll at least help you to sort of think along those lines, wherein 100% after this webinar, you will need to do your homework and sort of go and scan for stocks, put them in your watch list, and look how data is changing within them. So moving on, taken most of the questions. So we'll go to gainer loser really quickly. Uh, so a quick question by Mr. Suman Kumar. What is the range of IV good to trade? So IVs again has a mean reverting characteristic. So we have historical IV. So each and every underlying has its own IV. So you won't get a hard and fast or a hard coded rule that this range of IV is good to trade, but you want to sort of draw your own support resistances because it is mean reverting, and see where IV is trading based on those levels. And again, you can forecast IV based on that. And there are again statistical tools to do that, but you can just sort of practically see how IV ranges have been in the past and where it is trading right now. And always good to compare those with prices as well. So Mr. Mahesh Narke has asked, is there any good tool to hedge options? So we have one of the most powerful tools to come up with hedge strategies, and or to sort of repair your sort of broken or loss making trades. So we have uh, optimizer in our platform where you can define your risk, and the optimizer will give you strategies which are already hedged. uh, and you can do a lot of further analysis. You can see if IV changes throughout till expiry, how your PNL is going to get affected. You can see your Greeks, how those are going to affect your entire strategy. Uh, so yeah. All right. So moving to the next tool, gainer loser. So again, a positional tool where uh, if you see a certain trend in an underlying, uh, you can, yeah, so basically you can just see the changes of the underlying from a certain date. So if you want to trade certain themes, or you want to see which stocks have gone up during a certain period of time, uh, or practically being said, if you're looking at the markets, or if you're just someone who looks at Nifty, and you are sort of just tracking that roughly on a daily basis. Now, Nifty comprises of a lot of stocks, and so does the market. So you need to know which sort of sectors are driving the indices or the overall markets as a whole. And there are certain themes that drive markets at certain times. So media stocks, IT stocks have been sort of higher in the past week or so. Uh, so quickly we can sort of do that analysis here, and this will exactly tell you which themes or which sectors or which underlyings have gone up in the past sort of day. So if I quickly look at Nifty, just look here. So just going to the daily chart for Nifty. So here are the March lows. So around 24th March is where we hit the COVID lows, and since then it's been a one-sided rally, albeit not easy to trade, but Nifty has sort of gone up since then quite a lot, almost doubled. Uh, so what? Uh, So what gainer loser will do is, now we are looking at the index or the overall market as a general, but we want to know which actual stocks have performed. And even if you logically think, even if you're sort of looking at the news, you know that sort of pharma would have been the trend given the circumstances. And so were sort of IT companies uh, relying on sort of the internet rather than physical work. Uh, so that sort of theme you know in your head, but gainer loser will actually quantify that for you. So we saw that 24th March was the low for Nifty, and now we'll see which exact sort of underlyings have performed since 24th March, and a lot have performed, but some have totally outperformed in this new sort of, in this new regime that we are in. So you can look at the weekly gainer losers, the monthly, or the expiry on expiry. So weekly starts with the Friday to Friday. Monthly starts with the first of the month. Expiry starts from the expiry, and custom you can see a custom date which we are about to do. So we'll see post the COVID rally which underlyings have performed. So 2020 is already over. So that went by pretty quickly. Let's see March 23rd. So these are the top performing underlyings in FNO since in the particular rally since the post-COVID rally. So we see Adani Enterprises, we see Oro Pharma, and we see some sort of auto stocks as well here. But this is basically the new theme. We see again Coforge part of pharma. So what I can see is I can see pharma, telecom, metals, IT have been basically driving the markets. And I would say they have outperformed since at least since March 24. So PNB, for obvious reasons, has been the only FNO stock which has been lower since, or basically which has contributed negatively in the rally. And you find some banking stocks as well out here. And PVR, we know why exactly because theaters are obviously shut, and that's one of PVR's main revenue. So again, you can compare logic and themes with this tool, and it's a really fun exercise to do as well. So if you guys have any questions, you can put it on the chat box, and Abhishek, you can forward it to me. And also, guys, as I was talking, someone asked me about the optimizer algorithm. So, guys, if you can just like this video, if you found the content presented so far sort of relevant for you, but I would still recommend doing your further studies, going and seeing what results are coming up, doing a deeper dive into the IV's pre and post results, and go the further step and see what exactly were the expectations before the result and how the result was announced, as in what were the numbers at the result, and then correlate that with the IV changes or the price changes after the result. So it's definitely a time taking task, but it's something that is definitely prudent if you want to have at least an edge while trading these results. Because events are such a place where a lot of people are participating. So a lot of volumes do happen during results, not just earnings, I would say, but even sort of macro results or any if any GDP numbers are announced. So if you guys have any questions, again, you can put it on the chat. So as I was saying about the algorithm, so YouTube has its own algorithm. So if you guys like this video, more people would be able to see it, so, uh, and it would reach out to more people, and it help us grow as well. So we covered four tools today. So we started off with FNO scanner. We went to so we started off with result analysis and result calendar. Then we went to FNO scanner. Uh, then we also looked into price OI percentile, and finally we ended up with gainer loser. So just four tools out of the 45 tools on our application. Uh, uh, which is going to basically help you trade. So Mr. A.S. Saxena has asked which are the 3 to 4 data point sequence one should look at. Uh, so I would say if you're an intraday trader, you would want to go to sort of you want to look at the build up and see the rough sort of market breadth for the day, get a bias of the overall markets. Then you want to go to FNO news, look for sort of active underlines and then see exactly why that particular option contract or underlying is active. See if the data is backing up the move. Again, for contra trades or trades with the trend, there you'll get a much sort of better thought, sort of thought driven process towards this trading, and it will have a logic. wherein you can call this a top-down approach, wherein you're looking at the overall markets where they are, and then within that you're looking at active, and within that you're looking at the data. Is it supporting the move? Is the data not strong enough for the move to take a contra trade? So that would be my sequence, especially if you're looking at intraday trades. If you already are a positional trader, uh, or you have a portfolio, you can look at price OI percentile and see how derivative data has backed the current move in the underlying. Uh, and as I said, we have a host of other tools here for positional and intraday traders alike. So again, on our website, if you go, you will find all the tools sort of segregated based on the use cases. And if you just click here, you can watch the demo of the particular tools. So hope you guys have liked the video on YouTube. So I'll just take some Q&A. If you guys have any questions, put it in the chat. So there's a question by Mr. Shiva Kumar, how to backtest option strategies, a short strangle. So I'll take that case now. So we have option backtesting on our platform, pretty powerful, where within just a couple of minutes you can backtest sort of straddles or strangles. So Mr. Shiva Kumar wants me to backtest a short strangle. So short strangle is basically just shorting ATM call and put. So I'll just do that for Nifty really quickly. So we are shorting. Let's short two strikes away from ATM for strangle. So then let's look at the past 3 days worth of data. Let's add a leg. So shorting the call. So the underlying is Nifty. We are shorting a call based on its strike. So if I want to short an out of the money call that is two strikes away from ATM, I'll enter in two here. So that's added, and I'll add in the put leg as well. So the put we are shorting based on strike, and for the ATM put it's going to be -2. So that's our trade. We are shorting a strangle. Let's do it for the weekly options. So these are some filters that you can put. You can also put in your target and stop loss. So if I'm doing a weekly short strangle, I'll likely do it probably 4 to 5 days before expiry. So I'll put it 4 days before expiry and I'll exit it just a day prior to expiry. And let's see what sort of results we have. So this is on the right, you can see the backtested results. So Mr. Siva Kumar, if you see, there were a total trades of 42 in the period of the last 3 years, at least in the weekly options since they were introduced. So this particular strategy, if you enter the trade 4 days before the weekly expiry and exit it one day, it has a strike rate of 75%. So 3 out of 4 times it's ended up with a positive PNL. Uh, uh, and here you can see other sort of details about the backtested results. So what's the average PNL per trade, average loss per trade? Again, what's the strike rate, the cumulative PNL for the past 3 years? Again, so you can, I would have, so basically when this tool was launched, I spent at least a couple of days just playing around different combinations. And it's really fun, not just for sort of indices or weekly options. You can also do it if you're a positional trader, sort of doing iron condors month in, month out. You can backtest certain iron condors. But again, it's prudent to look at volatility as well as a factor in iron condors, but you can backtest iron condors for certain dates as well. So if volatility is in a certain regime and you are only doing iron condors in that regime, you can select those dates here and see how the iron condor performed historically in that IB regime. So really fun activity, and so this is a pro tool. So if you guys want a trial or if you guys want to subscribe, so this tool itself is, I would say, worth the subscription, uh, especially if you're trading positional month in, month out. So just checking if some questions. So Mr. Redrickson said data backing up the move, never explained how data is backing up the move. I can't sort of suggest trades to you right now where I'm going to tell you go and buy this. But again, this data, so again, it's a game of probabilities. So again, nothing that you see is going to say, okay, I see a really good unwinding in calls, really good build up in puts. The overall bias is definitely positive. So at least I'll remove the negative trades out of my bouquet and I'll just look for sort of positive trades. Within that, if I go a step further, I'll look, is the profitability good? Are we at supports or resistances? Based on that, I will I will have a bias, and at least that would be backed by data. So that was something that at least you can do to at least put yourself ahead of the crowd. So a lot of queries for backtesting. So we can do a webinar only for backtesting once that we take it up in detail. I'll ask Abhishek to share the link of. So we have a detailed webinar on backtesting as well. So Abhishek, if you can put that on the chat, so you guys can view that as well. But again, so we've covered a lot of tools today. If some of them you don't have access to, put in a mail to us at support@quantsapp.com, and we'll try helping you out with a demo or with a trial for a few days. And would recommend if you guys can subscribe to the application as well. So if you guys want to subscribe, you can just click on the GoPro icon on the top. And so this is our pricing. So it's around 14,750 for a year. Uh, and you get all pro tools that include strategy charts. So we were pretty excited to announce that last month. And I'm also delighted to let you know that we have a lot of changes coming up for our web app and in fact our entire platform. So you guys can stay tuned for that. So regarding the subscription, again, all tools available at 14,750 inclusive everything for a year. We also have an event option symposium that we've been conducting for the past 2 years. So the first one we did in 2018 in Lonavala and in Dela Resorts, and the second one we were very sort of uh, very happy to do it at Bombay Stock Exchange. Um, so we were able to do it at the International Conference Hall at PSE in Mumbai Fort. So we had around 500 participants. We had the best speakers that you can think of, uh, who were actually traders, who have actually managed a lot of money. So we had Mr. Tom Sosnoff, who had come down all the way from Chicago. We had Mr. Rajesh Baheti, who's really a big personality in the broking space. We had Mr. Srikanth Iyengar managing multi-thousand crores portfolio who were come as a speakers. So this year around also we have it on 23rd and 24th. So if you go to our website, you'll find a tab here for the option symposium. So this is, you can find the details here where we have sort of early bird phase two registrations going on. Uh, these are what some of our attendees in the past have said. So this is my personal best by Mr. Piyush. So I believe he's put this after attending a sort of mind-blowing session. And there were a lot of positive vibes throughout those 2 days earlier last year in January. So this time around, we have a host of domestic and international speakers. So Mr. Tony Batista, partner in crime of Mr. Tom Sosnoff in Chicago with Tasty Trade, is on board this time around. We have Mr. Mark Sebastian of Option Pit as well, Matt Choi, a lot of speakers, 10 of 11 of them, I would say, yeah, 11 of them already finalized. So is the agenda. So basically, your takeaway from this is, as I said, 11 speakers. We'll just be covering sort of practical trading setups. So none of them are going to tell you their story or going to teach you anything that is irrelevant. So each one of these are profitable traders and they'll be sharing one actionable trading strategy. And so even if you sort of pick up one, and again, so you might ask, how can you learn something in 1 hour, 15 minutes? But you must also think that to come up with a session of 1 hour, 15 minutes, it's taken years of the trainer to actually come up with that strategy. So he'll compress it and present it to you, and it'll definitely involve work at your end to actually suit it according to your trading styles. And as I said, we have something for everything, for positional traders, for intraday traders, for people who trade currencies, people who trade all sort of instruments. So here's how you can book your ticket. You can Abhishek, if you can put the link in the chat. So right now the pricing is 7.5 thousand. That's the early bird pricing. But however, if you want to go for our application along with the symposium, you get a really discounted rate. So the rate for the application plus the option symposium is 17,250, where you get the combo. And to make things even sweeter, uh, Mr. Shubham Agarwal has announced his professional option trading workshop as well. So in fact, we've not announced it yet. So you guys are hearing it first. So if you navigate to this particular URL. Abhishek, if you can put this URL in the chat. So this is a 2 day sort of marquee event that Mr. Shubham conducts. So we've been around the country. However, COVID coming in the way, we couldn't do a lot of these. But again, April, first weekend of April, we are back with this. 2 day workshop where Mr. Shubham is going to spit out everything that he's learned about derivatives. And again, it's going to be extremely actionable. So just a bit about Mr. Shubham. He he's someone who's been on both sides. So he was part of managing huge amounts of money back in the day. He witnessed 2008 crash. He was there throughout the bull run, 2012. He's seen it all basically, and he's managed a huge amount of money. So now he's changed focus, move to Quantsapp, and helping basically option traders, not just India but globally soon. So you'll be learning from him 2 days. We'll be covering 6 to 7 practical setups. Again, these are something that you can start applying right away. And across this includes all the tools and Excel models come across with this workshop. We'll also have Mrs. Tina Garudia who will be conducting a few sessions here. So the inclusions would include, so the pricing for the entire 2 day workshop is 39,000. So that includes our option symposium ticket and our application subscription. So if you guys are interested, and it's a good time to sort of get serious about options as well, given this past year, a lot of people have come into the markets. So lockdown has, I wouldn't say forced, but inclined a lot of people to open trading accounts and start trading because there's no barrier to entry. So the basic, the one of the way how you can sort of separate yourself is keep upgrading your knowledge, add new tools to your skill set. So investing 39,000 rupees, if you think that's prudent, would highly recommend it. And as I said, this is one of our marquee workshops. We are learning from one of the best in the industry. So just past highlights of our event. And even if you guys don't want to subscribe or attend any of the trainings, on the application, we have more than 20 tools absolutely available for free. So don't let any monetary thing stop you from at least learning. And as I said, these webinars, we try to make them weekly, where at least we are trying to make your weekend productive. And I hope you guys practice some of the concepts we discussed after this webinar. And I believe the recording will be live on YouTube immediately. So that is all from me. If you guys have any last questions, I'll take it. If not, then we can end this session. Again, just the bifurcation of our tools in the application. If you go to our homepage on the website, here's a nice sort of cheat sheet of which tools you can use for your trading style. So intraday positional, there's an algorithm as well, and there are some essential tools too. So just a heads up, guys. Look out for our upcoming webinars in the application as well. And as I said, we have a surprise for you guys in store pretty soon in terms of the web application and our platform as well. Uh, so Mr. Das has asked how to register for the workshop if already an app subscriber. So Mr. Das, if you can just drop us a WhatsApp, or if you can just go to our platform, you'll find a WhatsApp button here. If you can just WhatsApp us, we'll have our sales team sort of get in touch with you and we'll help you out. Uh, all right, guys. Hope this session has helped you, and hope you guys carry this forward by doing some analysis for yourself. And as I said, we have a support here there 7 days a week. So any queries on the application, feel free to get in touch with our team, and we'll try our best to help you out. And in the meantime, hope you all stay safe. So basically, wear a mask, all of you guys. The vaccine is almost here. Just a matter of time till we all get it. So it's even more important to stay more precautious now than ever. 2 3 months and we should all be back to normal sort of work. Till then, wear a mask, stay safe, and look after your mental health. One of the most underrated aspects of a trader. Uh, so that's all from us at Quantsapp here on this Saturday morning. Hope you guys have a great weekend ahead. Pretty volatile week coming up next with uh, the significant results coming out, how companies have performed during COVID. So let's see what the numbers say. Let's see if the up move in these companies have backed up by the results. So pretty interesting, good time to be a trader, and never a bad time to learn something new. So on that note, thank you guys, and again, stay safe. Goodbye.